interesting what happened in all those games. What do you think about those matches? It was very interesting watching, from Arsenal versus Leeds to watching a game between Chelsea, West Ham, and also later on in the evening watching Liverpool play and Liverpool winning and Liverpool coming back, to their normal style of playing good football. If you're just joining me, my name is Richard Owanji. Welcome to the live stream, and we are talking about the game match day 24, the games so far that have been played, analyze those games. And if you followed up in the video I had earlier, I think that was yesterday or so, where we analyzed those games, and I think all our predictions came true. Yes, all our prediction came true. I think from the first prediction we had, when we spoke around the fact that I had predicted that Arsenal definitely good goal margin, and Arsenal definitely won the good goal margin, and Arsenal definitely won the game with a good goal margin as predicted. Chelsea West Ham, we predicted that Chelsea West Ham, it would be a game where Chelsea would win, but I spoke around the fact that it will not be more than one goal margin. That means Chelsea will not win with more than just one goal, and it happened like that. Liverpool game also, we predicted Liverpool to win, and Liverpool won the match. So all our predictions for the weekend, went as planned. And I think let's just start from the Leeds game and let's talk about what happened in Leeds versus Arsenal game. I think that should be our first point. I'm talking points. It was a very interesting game between Leeds United and Arsenal, and the most interesting part of that game was the fact that the Arsenal team had a very big possession in that particular match. The possession was really high. Controlled the whole game. They played so well. Having 80% to 20% possession, I think that's the first talking point from the Arsenal versus Leeds game. I think Arsenal having that same control they always have in every game, and had that same control against, and just as we predicted, I told you that Arsenal will have possession. Arsenal will score more goals against Leeds. That's why you don't miss any of those analysis which I have before those games, and you analyze that, and I said it would be a very interesting game to see that Arsenal would definitely have all the possession. And Arsenal had the possession 80 to 20%, which shows how good the Arsenal team is. And I talked about the goal scoring, and it was as expected that Arsenal were going to score many goals. And for many people, of course, we took on the fact that it was nice having Victor Gyökeres, score for Arsenal yesterday. For him scoring for Arsenal yesterday was just that's beautiful one, because he keeps scoring on that thing again. From that game yesterday would be the own goal, the own goal, which is now a major factor in Arsenal. If beyond Arsenal having teams that score goals, having players that score goals, having players that have scoring through set pieces, on that factor that helped Arsenal this is the fact that they force their opponents to score goals, and of course it becomes own goals, which is another big factor that helped the Arsenal team. So beyond everything, we speak about the fact that the Arsenal team has grown to be a team that will force you to make mistakes, and it happened yesterday, and they had to force mistakes. I think that forcing of mistakes is a good part, because when you force the mistakes, the opponent will score. The opponent will score own goals, and you would win the game. Now, looking at Arsenal have had close to they've had more own goals. How will I explain this? Now, the own goals that Arsenal have had this particular season can be compared to the goals of the highest goal scorer in the team. That shows that Arsenal have had a situation whereby many of their games own goals always happen. So it's a great one for Arsenal, as predicted. They defeat Leeds United yesterday. Talking about the fact that yes, we saw them not just defeating but scoring those goals. I think that's a part for Arsenal. So Arsenal still remain top of the EPL table, and great news to all Arsenal fans. I think Arsenal fans should be happy to hear that their club still sits comfortably on top of the table. All right, let's move from Arsenal, and let's talk about the Chelsea game, which is the game that everybody really wants to talk about. Chelsea against West Ham, and I watched the game yesterday in a particular place, and one very interesting thing would be the fact that we saw the Chelsea team yesterday start on a very slow note. Chelsea trying to do their needful, their normal, attacking football. But we saw West Ham scoring early. I think that in that West Ham scored in the first half of the game. The first goal, West Ham scored the second goal, and by the time the first half was done, it was a total of 2 goals for West Ham. And just think about it, 2 goals for West Ham in that first half. That was like a nail on the coffin for Chelsea yesterday, because those 2 goals definitely just meant that Chelsea were down. And the 2 goals in the first half that West Ham scored against Chelsea were goals that we could definitely say that it came out of good possession. And so Chelsea, West Ham had the possession, where West Ham were pressing. West Ham controlled the first half of that particular game, and we were not surprised when we saw West Ham score. Now, West Ham scored 2 goals, and if you followed our pre-match analysis, right, I spoke about the fact that West Ham might be maybe not that top team in the EPL right now. West Ham is struggling in the EPL table right now, but one short thing I spoke about was the fact that West Ham would definitely, I spoke about that fact, West Ham will definitely be a tough team for Chelsea. Now, it's because of it's always a London derby. No matter how bad West Ham are on the league, when they play against Chelsea, they will definitely come out of their aim. So I was not surprised when I saw what West Ham did yesterday, scoring those 2 goals in the first half of the game, because they will always come with their A game. But one thing that many people know Chelsea, everyone knows Chelsea is a good team, a good football team. We know Chelsea over the years. But one thing many people don't know about Chelsea is Chelsea's comeback spirit. Now, we all know Chelsea could play good football, but what we don't know about Chelsea is, can Chelsea also have those comebacks? And yes, Chelsea can also have real comebacks, and that was what we saw yesterday. Now, the second half of the game against West Ham saw Chelsea make those changes. The coach make those changes, bring in players that needed that could make a difference, and those players were able to definitely make a difference for Chelsea. Now, having to score those, for me, it was scoring those 2 important goals and level the game at that draw point was what was very important for me, because we could see Chelsea could just pull, and became 2-2 against West Ham at a particular time. And for many of us, that was enough to say that the Chelsea team knew exactly what they wanted yesterday. When you see Chelsea playing that, when Chelsea were playing that 2-2 draw, it was like, okay, yes, this is Chelsea that we wanted, and at least if they had picked up the draw, it would have been good enough. But we saw Chelsea score in 93 minutes of the game to make sure they won the game by 3-2. And for many people, this is one of Chelsea's biggest comeback we have seen. 2 goals down, and Chelsea scoring 3 goals, in the second half. In one half, that is the most important thing. Chelsea scored 3 goals in one half. That means it's so important. Imagine scoring 3 goals in one half, and definitely that just means that Chelsea were very, very serious. Chelsea were very ready to make a difference. And for many of us, I will tell you something. This is what we call a good Chelsea. So I talked about the Chelsea game, and of course, we must first of all praise the coach who was able to go back to the dressing room to read, understand what he needed to put in place. I think that should be the most important thing right now, because playing against West Ham was ready with 2 goals up. He needed something magical, and he went back to the dressing room, was able to think, crack his brain, and come up with something very, very interesting. And I think what he came up with was enough to help rearrange the team and make sure that Chelsea were able to score those 3 goals. We'll talk about the fact that Chelsea's midfield, we're able to understand the job in the second half of the game. The first half of the game saw a sloppy Chelsea, but the second half of the game saw a Chelsea team that understood that they needed to lock up and make sure their midfield was intact. And for many of us, that was just it, making sure the midfield was intact, and that was what the Chelsea team did yesterday. So locking your midfield, stopping the flow of the West Ham players in the second half was the magic in that second half. It was just that magic, and the winning goal was everything. So just as we predicted, we spoke about just 1 goal difference. I think that was what I spoke about. I say Chelsea would win, and by those Chelsea scoring, the goal margin being more than 1, and exactly as I say that's what happened. Brighton-Everton game, we predicted a draw. We got exactly that draw. So I think you should not miss it. If you're joining for the first time, don't miss my analysis, because I break it down without sentiment. We spoke about Everton picking up a draw. Exactly as we predicted, Everton got that draw. We spoke about Leeds and Arsenal. We spoke about Arsenal being able to win Leeds with a good goal match. It happened like that. So I think all our predictions for yesterday happened as we predicted, from the draws to the goal margins. It happened exactly the same way we predicted yesterday. So let's move a bit and talk about the Liverpool game and how Liverpool were able to stand strong yesterday. I think it's a great game for Liverpool yesterday. Scoring the number of goals Liverpool scored yesterday. Kanute also scoring. He lost his father yesterday, and if you followed up my pre-match analysis, I spoke about the fact that Liverpool were going to win their game. I think you should go and watch that video. I think that video is still on my YouTube channel. Watch that particular video. I spoke about the fact that it was going to be that Liverpool were going to win that game. I spoke about that Liverpool were going to win the game because I spoke about the fact that if Liverpool loses that game, it will be the end of Slot. And Slot knew how important the game was going to be yesterday, and Slot and his men won that particular game. And that was it. So Liverpool winning their match was another major great talking point for many Liverpool fans, and the fact that yes, we were able to get the necessary points. Not the necessary point, but able to score good goals, and this is what many people know Liverpool for. Liverpool just don't win games. Liverpool score very good goals when they have the chance to play. So I think for me, basically, that is a great thing for Liverpool team. You are being able to score as many goals as possible. Not just win your games, score those goals, and Liverpool did that yesterday. So prediction is going as planned, right? Arsenal, as we predicted, Arsenal will score many goals. It happened. We predicted a draw in the Everton game. It happened. We predicted a game between Chelsea and West Ham. Chelsea won't win with more than one goal. It happened. We also predicted Liverpool to win with a win by all costs. It happened. So don't take me, as I told someone some few days ago, what we do here, we don't analyze games and just out of sentiment. We analyze based on facts. We analyze based on facts, the facts on ground, and we just analyze it and make sure it's just kept there. All right, so let's now move and talk about today's game briefly. As I'm driving, let's go about today's game briefly and what we'll be expecting. I think we've done that in the other video in the EPL. We've already predicted, done analysis around that particular game. But let's do analysis about today's game and what we should be expecting. Now, one of the big game of the evening will be the game between West Ham and between Man U and Fulham. Now, it has always been a decision where we see Fulham always get the better of Manchester United whenever they play against themselves. But the Man U team under Carrick has changed. Man U team under Carrick is more rejuvenated. Man U under Carrick they play very good football. So sit down and just listen, because my prediction will definitely go as planned again. Because as I always tell you, we don't predict out of sentiment. We predict with the true reality on ground. Now, can Man U beat West Ham and beat Fulham? That's a big question. Now let's break this down. I did this in another video and I'll break it down for you. Man U are in great form right now. Man U have that big tempo working for them, and I'll explain that tempo for you. Now, Man U have seen themselves going to the top 4. Drop from the top 4. They were in the top 4 yesterday. They have dropped after Chelsea won their game. Man U has a chance to go into the top 4 again, and so that's the first part. The tempo is very high for Man U because right now they can see themselves, being able to push through because the tempo is high. That's a high tempo. So we must be in the top 4. The dream and ambition of Man U is now big. Man U can now see that we are so points to the top 4. So the tempo is there. Now you have a coach called Carrick, and Carrick is there to do one thing: prove himself and make sure that I can do this job. Man U, as I said yesterday or 2 days ago, Man U are not just playing good football. Man U are playing very coordinated football, which means that the Man U team are not just scoring goals or winning matches. The team are blending together, and with their playing together, they are being able to do the needful, to win these games. So going against Fulham are very good. give it to Fulham. Fulham is the most consistent team in the EPL in the last the most consistent in the EPL in the last 4 to 5 seasons. Or sorry, since when they returned back. Let me not say in the last 4 to 5 the most consistent, because I Aston Villa remains the most consistent team in the EPL in the last 4 to 5. So I'll go with Aston Villa. But let's talk about Fulham being that mid-table team. Fulham understands how to play against big teams, and that is where you get scared of a team like Fulham. Teams like Fulham, West Ham, when they play against the big guys, they can be very, very poor, lose against the smaller guys. When they play against the big guys, clubs like Fulham always get their ass together. So playing against Man U, they'll definitely get their ass together. History-wise, the last few seasons, we've seen how the Fulham team have been able to comfortably beat Manchester United or pick up a draw. But the Man U team is different, and that's why my prediction for this particular game for Manchester United is very, very simple. And the prediction is Man U 2. Either Man U wins the game or Man U draws the game. Now, I'm not saying a Man U team losing. I think I should start taking. I am not saying a Man U team losing. Man U would not lose for any reason against Fulham. I think let's get that straight. And I think we'll come back to this video. Record it down. I don't see Man U losing against Fulham no matter what happens. I see a Man U team at worst case Man U pulling up a draw. I spoke about first of all, I spoke about the tempo. The tempo is very, very high for Manchester United right now. Man U has seen themselves close to the top 4 position, which is what every team wants. When the tempo is high, the team wants to always play with that, that seriousness, that eagerness and everything. So high tempo is for the first point for Man U to push through and see how they can be able to finish into the top 4 position. Secondly, would be the fact that the coach factor. The coach now understands that is working for him. His style of play is working for him. The coach has been able to put all Man U players, or most of Man U players, back to their natural roles. The coach has been able to stop what failed in the former coach. The former coach was trying to play a kind of football that was not used to the Manchester United culture. Now, under Carrick, Man U are back to their normal and usual kind of play, where you have you play that very beautiful wing football with a very, very beautiful midfield, and midfield can be able to break in those passes. So I think that is the upper hand for Man U. Now, talk about breaking up the passes. They have a man called Bruno. Bruno now understands. Bruno is now back to his usual and comfortable role, where he can be able to do all those running in between. And when he's running in between, Bruno can be able to run, and run in between, make those passes clearly, and he has the strikers being very, very sharp. Now, talk about sharp strikers. Bruno also has, defenders, midfielders who now sit behind and help him do more of that free role, and that has made Man U to do very well in recent days because of the free role coming in from. Talk about the likes of Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes can be able to move through, make those passes, and the striking force of Man U can be able to score those goals. So this have made Man U attacking football be at the highest level. That was why when we watched Man U play against Arsenal, we saw same thing, because now you have the midfielders taking on their roles. Bruno Fernandes can be able to now sit down, make those clean passes. You have 2 other midfielders who are still behind there, making sure they can do all the cleaning behind and front, while Bruno moves and give those clear passes. I think all these are contributed to the fact that that's why we see the Man U team rather being able to, do the needful, score those goals, and win the match. So for me, basically, I don't see a situation whereby Manchester United will lose. They will not lose. The worst case scenario, Man U will pull off a draw against the club they called playing against Man U are playing against Fulham. So Man U picking up a draw or Man U losing, Man U winning the game will be it, because it's working for them right now, and what's working is what Man U will stick to. So I spoke about those 2 points. The momentum is high. Top four dream is alive. The coach understands is back to what is working for them, and thirdly, I spoke around the fact that players like Bruno are back to their natural role. And I think the 4th point would be the fact that there is a great improvement in the Man U's defense, and that is one of the reasons why Man U will either pick up a draw or definitely win the game. I think the Man U's defense are more coordinated. you could easily go with the fact that Man U cannot keep a clean sheet. I understand that fact, yes. I'm not expecting a clean sheet against Fulham. I don't see Man U having that clean sheet. I see Man U maybe they'll score Man U as usual, but I think there's a more coordination in the Man U's defense, and it's basically because of, you know, you have those midfielders doing the big supporting role, and for that reason alone, the midfield, the defense has been able to pair up well. So that's it for the Man U game. A draw or a win for Manchester United. Right, let's leave Manchester United and let's move straight and talk about what we should be expecting from Tottenham and Manchester City. That'll be on that game we would have today, and that would be a very, very interesting one. Man City themselves are now inching closer to the top position of the EPL, and that is where they want to be. City did not win the league last season. Liverpool won the league, but when you're now seeing yourself at that position, and you know you're very, very close, like you are seeing yourself like, I am very, very close to the title. Now is how can I be able to push it through. Now Tottenham are not at their best. There's a big struggle for Tottenham team, and that is where City would come and punish them. Now City have been inconsistent, but City will not lose against Tottenham. I think let's get that clear. City will beat Tottenham today. I think that's a sure point. One great thing that's working for City is the fact that it's a blessing to them. Erling Haaland has not been scoring so many goals for City, so naturally eyes have been taken off from Erling Haaland, which is just a natural thing right now. You have less players looking at what Erling Haaland can do, so it has made it easier for other players to flourish and score goals for City. And that will also happen again today, because if Erling Haaland starts, there will be less eyes on Erling Haaland because Erling Haaland is not in form, and that will make sure Erling Haaland punish Tottenham, or other players have the chance either to score Tottenham. So for me, City would win their game against Tottenham today. I will say a straight win, and maybe not scoring many goals, but City will just definitely score maybe 1 or 2 goals, but City to win the game against Tottenham today. Alright, if you're just joining me, my name is Richard Nwaje. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll make sure we have this like every single day, analyzing games, talking about the big stories, and making sure you don't miss any part of it. Don't forget that we have already spoken about the Arsenal game. If you missed that, of course you can still watch the video, talk about the Arsenal game, and most importantly, everything that we predicted happened as we predicted. From Arsenal, we spoke about Arsenal going to win with good margin. Arsenal won with good margin. We spoke about Chelsea not winning with more than 1 goal. It happened. We spoke about Liverpool winning their game. Liverpool won, and we also spoke about that was in our previous video. We also spoke about something very important: Everton pulling up the draw, and Everton has pulled up the draw. And in this same video, we've spoken about the games today. Man U will definitely pick up a draw or win against Fulham. City will definitely look for a way to beat Tottenham. So that's our predictions. Don't forget, we analyze just strictly without sentiment here. We don't analyze with I love so club. We analyze with the facts on ground, and it just happens the way we do it. You understand? So don't forget to subscribe, get notification button, and always follow up. We'll have those videos being posted as long form videos, so you can also be able to from the long form videos, be able to watch it and understand what we are talking about. All right, I'll see you later this evening, where we'll have another live stream, and during that live stream we'll definitely talk about another very, very important issue. Maybe we'll be there with analyzing what happened in the different games that took place today. I think that's basically what we'll be doing later on today, where we'll analyze those games, talk about what happened, how it happened, and what do you think about that. Thank you to all those that joined us. Don't forget to, as I said earlier, get your notification buttons, subscribe, drop those gifts and everything, like, join and always like, and make sure that you don't miss any single thing whenever we are live. And those that are joining us right now, you're making me to just go back to what we're talking about. We just analyze the games for today, and let me just recap it for you. We spoke about Chelsea yesterday's game. We had the prediction, and it went as planned. But for today's game, we are going with Man U would either win or draw against Fulham. That's a fact on ground. Man U would not lose their game today against Fulham, and we broke down 5 major factors, and the 5 factors we broke down was the fact that number one, we spoke about Chelsea's, Man U's momentum is high. Number two, we spoke around Manchester United have that, will I call it, coach is there. The coach is now being able to understand and put players back to a natural role. That was the second point we spoke about. The Man U's midfield opportunity, the fact that Bruno Fernandes is now playing in his natural role, making Man U's striking force very, very beautiful. Having two other midfielders have helped him as a backup. So we spoke around that, which has made Man U's playing real good attacking football. We also spoke about Man U's defense, which was our fourth point. Man U's defense being very, very strong and a bit reliable. However, we spoke about the fact that Man U might concede one goal against Fulham, but Man U's defense is now being more coordinated, and you could easily put out the fact that you have two midfielders who are working strongly with the defense to make the Man U defense strong, and you have a Bruno now having a free role to work alongside the strikers. So we spoke about that as our fourth point, and our fifth point definitely would be the fact that the dream is coming alive again. And so that's the point we spoke about. Manchester United joining us. We spoke about Man U would either pick a draw or a win against Fulham, and City, Tottenham. We spoke about City, Tottenham being able to, pull this very, very interesting game today. City, for me, is going to win the match. That's what basically we should be expecting for the Tottenham game today. City will definitely win the match, and it's looking like a sure banker that nothing will stop City from winning Tottenham. City are now close to where they want to be, where they are seeing themselves close to the champions. Let's say close to the champions zone. Champions zone means like you're 2-3 points away from who's topping the league, or you're topping the league. So City, number one, has that momentum, and they are pushing strong. On that point, again, definitely will be City's ability to read and understand. City's ability to really understand the Tottenham team right now, and Tottenham themselves will definitely focus on maybe like Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland not scoring, I spoke about that fact that it's a blessing to the City team. Because other players now have had a chance to score for City, and it has made you focus on Erling Haaland, and one other player is somewhere who is going to score the goal. So basically, we spoke about that. So City today is going to win, and as I said, we analyze strictly based on facts. We don't analyze on sentiment. So you can always tell me what you think about our analysis, what you feel about it. Do you think we are getting it right, or do you think we are putting it right? Come on, tell me. If you watch this video later, maybe to be on a full form video where we'll have to do maybe we'll edit part of it to make sure you can maybe just get the key points from it, and we'll of course calculate 5 reasons why Man U would beat Fulham, and 3 reasons why City would beat Tottenham, and we would have the full form video so you could be able to watch it. And I think that would have that particular one later on today, and so you could be able to understand. So subscribe, hit the notification button later this evening in those games, and I'll talk about whether what we said happened as we said it, or it just happened to be that it didn't just go the way we planned. All right, thank you to all those that joined the live stream. I'll see you later on. Let's prepare for church. Later on today, we'll be back to follow up. Thank you very much.